1 month after Jeffco school administrators denied that kids were dressing up as so-called furries at school, CBS 4 has obtained emails showing that the district was aware of this issue, yet denied it was happening. CBS 4's Sean Boyd shows us how politics appears to have influenced the administration's response.
Darlene Edwards says when her 14-year-old son came home from school and said classmates were dressing up in animal costumes.
Kids are wearing collars and they're wearing ears and they're wearing tails.
She initially urged him to just ignore them.
And then it just progressively got worse and worse. He's like, but Mom, they're scratching, they're hissing, they're barking. He was getting agitated and it was getting overwhelming for him and frustrating.
Edwards says her son, who is on the autism spectrum, became so upset that she wrote a letter to the Jefferson County School District saying he does not see the fairness of these students being able to act inappropriately and dress in a manner that is disruptive to learning. According to her 6th grade niece, she told the district the kids also walk on all fours in the hallway, eat with their face in their food, and refer to themselves as animal avengers. An open records request shows Edwards is among at least 24 parents who've written the district over the last 8 months, most of them referring to the kids as furries. But it wasn't until Republican gubernatorial candidate Heidi Ganahl raised the issue in a radio interview, saying kids are identifying as cats, that it erupted in controversy. Ganahl, the latest in a string of Republican candidates nationwide to condemn furries, some using anti-LGBTQ rhetoric. Edwards is a Democrat, and she says pro-LGBTQ.
I have a niece that is lesbian, and she has specifically said to me, this is not an LGBTQ group. It's frustrating that it turned political rather than what's the best for the kids at school.
More frustrating, she says, is that school administrators got caught up in the politics, issuing a statement saying there is absolutely no truth to this claim. There are no furries or students identifying as such. But here's an email from the superintendent a month earlier asking who's going to respond to the emails about furries, and an email from the deputy superintendent saying we have all received the emails about the furries in schools, and yet another email from the chief of Family, School, and Community Partnerships wondering if it would be helpful to mention that calling into question students dressing or identifying as furries is part of a larger national political platform to further marginalize our transgender and LGBTQ+ students.
Why are you trying to cover it up rather than just deal with it on the level that it is?
School board member Susan Miller asking the same question.
We can see in the emails that parents raised issues with it. And I don't think we should be saying that our parents are lying.
In a district where enrollment is dropped by 30,000 students and where most kids are not reading or doing math at grade level, Miller says they need parental involvement and can't afford distractions.
I'm hoping that we can all learn from this and we can address the inconsistency and or the communication breakdown some way, shape, or form, so that our parents do believe that when they write to us or they call us or they talk with their principal or they talk with teacher, that we are responsive.
I will continue making waves. I will continue going to his principal. I will continue contacting Jefferson County until they acknowledge that it's happening and they need to address it.
I asked Jeffco's communications director to explain why she denied furries were an issue despite emails showing otherwise. She didn't answer, instead sending me a statement saying our principals work with their staff to follow district policy around appropriate dress code. If clothing is disruptive, district policy gives principals the power to place restrictions on it. This includes students dressing in costume. We respectfully decline to comment any further on this issue. Sean Boyd, covering Colorado First.